So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes looking at this vintage pen set. This is the Platinum Beeline in a pretty rare, at least from what I've seen, gift box. If you're not familiar with this Platinum Beeline series, it's a mechanical pencil, roller ball, ballpoint, fountain pen, family of pens from, I'm not exactly sure when, maybe mid-80s, it's hard to say. But it's from Platinum, and they're generally known for their higher end fountain pens these days, but they have a lot of really great stuff in their back catalog from years ago. So I really do like their Beeline series. So I was able to pick this up, and I've been really impressed with this box. It was just a lucky find. I bought the pens. I didn't expect they would show up in the original gift box, so I wanted to take a quick look at them on the channel. The box is a little bit beat up, as you'd expect, but you do see that original Platinum logo, Platinum Pen Company, Limited, Tokyo, Japan. Very cool. There's that Beeline logo. So inside the box, what do we see? We see the original manual, which we'll look through in the, I think the original crinkled plastic. And then this was, at least when I bought it, I'm not sure how it was initially, but I think it was sold as new old stock, or NOS. This is, we have two Beeline pens, one of which will be a roller ball and one will be a fountain pen. And then it looks like we have some original Platinum fountain pen cartridges. So let's just hop into the manual really quickly, try to keep things in pretty good shape. Beeline fountain pen, mechanical pencil, ballpoint, rolling ball. These weren't all sold in the same kit from what I understand. But it was the same manual. So fountain pen, mechanical pencil, ballpoint. And this line is most famous for its mechanical pencil, and it has a very cool ballpoint. The roller ball and fountain pen are generally not as desirable, but I think they're quite cool. So there's the fountain pen, very simple, Platinum cartridge system. You just tighten it down. The mechanical pencil has a very cool extendable tip, which we'll look at in one of these videos in the future. Here is the retractable, oh sorry, that's still a mechanical pencil. Here is the ballpoint, I believe. Oh no, that's tweaking the mechanical pencil, I guess. There's the ballpoint. It's a very extensive manual. Anyway, it's in great shape. There is the roller ball, or the rolling ball as they call it. It's the simplest of the set. And then don't mess up the clip. Pretty simple. Okay, so on to the pens. Still have the ribbon there. It's original. The elastic is not in the best shape, but still semi-functional. The old school kind of 1980s era lines looks a lot like a, maybe like a Pentel Mechanica, something like that. Very, very cool looks to it. And here is that Beeline. This is what I would consider to be a cylindrical pen. I really don't know a better name for it than that, but throughout the, it's hard to say, maybe the 60s, 70s, 80s, but throughout those decades, we saw a lot of very skinny pens that were short and skinny with very simple bodies. You know, today you see much more ornate pens. They tend to be larger, but back then, this sort of stripped down pen or pencil they weren't that rare. You don't see too many like that anymore. When you pull this cap off, it's definitely new. That cap is hard to remove. So I could just tell that it wasn't used much because the friction, there's too much friction for it to have been really broken in. So you see a very simple roller ball. Having a little zoom issue here, or focus issue rather, but very, very simple roller ball. Skinny, I would say relatively good looking, but minimalist, which is probably one of the reasons why this series really hasn't taken off so much with collectors. I like them a lot, but I don't think you see a lot of people going after these online. The cap is very, very simple. We'll see it says Beeline there, very stripped down engraved logo. Nice thick metal clip, very good looking, nicely made. And the body is all metal for the cap. You see a little bit of a Platinum logo. Everything is very small and it's stamped, so there's no real contrast, or almost no contrast, between the logo there and the cap itself. So it's hard to focus on. And then some plastic at the top. The pen, also very simple. We see it has a little grip area. That's just a hard plastic. Doesn't really serve any purpose except for this is where the pen comes apart. This is all metal here, and you can see all the chrome has been worn off of that refill, even though I doubt it was ever used. And it's very, very simple. This is just a little bit of plastic and then a little bit of metal. It's almost nothing to it. And this refill is Platinum Shore Point Japan Ruby Ball. I guess that means the ball point was ruby, like you would find in a watch. I doubt it was actually ruby, but that's what they call it, probably for its smoothness. No date or anything like that, but you could probably look up this SSP 300 and maybe you could find some details on it. I tried this thing before and it doesn't write, so it's too bad, but it should be easy enough to replace this. It looks a lot like an Odo ceramic or something like that. And then we could see just how worn out this thing is, even though I doubt it was ever used. It's just been completely oxidized. And now we have the other one. This is the fountain pen. They look identical from the outside, so it's a little bit confusing. Sometimes you'll see newer pens have some sort of mark on the top or the bottom in order to differentiate. I guess here you have the fountain pen is a little bit wider at the top, so maybe that'll be helpful. But on the outside, they look exactly the same. There's that Beeline logo, same plastic on the top, same tone to the metal, same level of friction pulling it off. Here we have the fountain pen. This one has a metal section as opposed to a plastic section. I guess the fountain pen is a little bit higher end. Very simple, stripped down plastic feed. Very cool, old school nib, although it doesn't look too different than Platinum's nibs from today. They still have nibs that look like this with that little breather hole and that, I don't know, the same general shape. Lamy has a couple nibs that look like this, although they are a lot, not maybe a lot, but they're a good deal larger. This is a very small nib. Just for reference, here's like the tip of a pencil. So it's quite a small nib. Opening this up, we see not too much to it, just some nice chromed metal in very good shape. The top of the feed is there, and that's it. The Beeline is a very, very simple line of, I would say the fountain pen and the rollerball are very simple. The mechanical pencil and the ballpoint are definitely not as simple. They have pretty cool mechanisms we'll check out in a future video. This set, at least as I bought it, didn't include either one of those, so we'll have to look at them separately. So I just wanted to focus on this very cool pickup. As far as the rest of the box goes, nothing else in there. And then we have these are the fountain pen cartridges that came with it. Platinum. There's a lot number, but no date. Nope, no date. And these are the original, real deal Platinum cartridges, which should be pretty much unchanged from today. Yeah, it's the same shape that Platinum still uses. I don't think they still do this big Platinum stamp like that anymore, so they are a little different. And then I'm a little bit hesitant to try this old ink with the Platinum here with this Beeline, but I might test this with like a Platinum Preppy or a cheaper pen. So in case it's just kind of old and gross or it's gonna clog the pen, I don't mess up a really nice vintage pen I will ruin a $1 Preppy or whatever, and I'll just clean it out. It won't be too big of a deal. Anyway, that's that platinum refill. There's 2 of them. I'm guessing they're black. Be typical, you would see a black pen, black ink included. They do have the metal balls there, which we still see, I think, on platinum refills. So there are 2 platinum Beeline pens, kind of an executive gift set from back in the day with the instruction manual. And just for reference, typically if you buy a Beeline set online, it would come in something like this. And this is a pretty plain Jane, not particularly impressive box. Maybe this is older. Maybe this one's from the late 90s and this is the early 2000s. It's really hard to say. They don't put the dates on these instruction manuals, but you do see much simpler packaging coming later. The instructions are no longer stapled. They're just one big fold out. So clearly some cost cutting measures had gone through, and you know, they made everything simpler and cheaper to produce, which is like, you know, a typical trend that would happen over time with a company like this. And then we have the ballpoint and the mechanical pencil, which we'll check out in a future video. Anyway, just a really quick look at the Platinum Beeline, just a really sweet old vintage set of pens. Thanks for watching.